India largely exports generics rather than branded formulations to the United States. Having said that, Sun Pharma and Biocon might be in focus as well because of the specialty drugs that they put out. I think the bigger question is, where does this go next? There are consistent tariff attacks and new surprises and shockers coming in from the United States right now as far as trade with India and the world is concerned. How do you build a portfolio? How do you preserve your capital in a time like this? That's what I'm going to ask Vikas Khemani as my first question. He's founder and CIO at Carnelian Asset Management. Joins us on the Talking Point this morning. Vikas, great to speak with you and have you on. Thank you so much for your time. When you woke up this morning and you saw all the series of posts, what was the first thought that came to mind?
This is nothing new. I think we have been used to it now for last couple of months. So it's a first time in any history, at least I have grown up believing that when you see any policy change through the Twitter and with a lot of sort of vagueness in it, right? If you are making a policy change, you are actually supposed to release a proper circular with a lot of details saying that what includes, what doesn't include. So it just creates a very huge tentative environment, uncertain environment. But I think that's what the individual likes. So I guess we have to get used to it, and he has power. But my take on this is that it's not negative for Indian pharma companies because Indian pharma is largely generic, and US cannot afford to put any tariff on generic drugs. It is mainly meant for branded, patented drugs, where India is very, very small. It could be, less than 10% for some of the companies, not even all the companies. So I do believe that, and when the details come out, you will know that probably that may not be also covered. So, and there will be way arounds and all. So I don't think it is negative for India or Indian pharma company per se.
I think what is more negative is their continued onslaught, right? Every day it's something or the other. Last week it was H1B, now it is Pharma, and you know that something new is going to keep coming. In that sense, do you think the market is bracing for what comes next and is unable to find its feet?
Not really. I think, see, it's not, I mean, I don't read it as a targeting against India or say, but it is basically, he's been saying this, how he wants to bring back manufacturing to US. And so it is also a lot of things. Why, my own view is that, why you want to do through Twitter is that you want to just address your voter base, that you are, you want to be seemingly taking some actions against, which says that, I'm making America great again. But the far more consequences could be far more deeper, and it actually might not be really what intended consequences are. And in fact, I feel that if they get implemented, US will have a huge inflation. But I'm sure, hence, like in H1B case, visa case, first they just released the issue, and then they came out and say, look, it does not apply to the stock of the H1B visa, only to the new visas and all. And I'm sure there could be some again tweaks around going forward. So point is that I think it's just to be done, in my opinion, being done, in my opinion, to address their own vote base and say that I'm doing something. But fact is that, India is doing only generic medicines, which I think is by and large fine. I don't think it'll get impacted.
Buy into pharma stocks today as this panic sets in. Is there a contrarian trade there, Vikas?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't see any reason why, you should not buy, depending on your research and view on this. But we are positive on pharma names, and we've been holding, and we have not changed anything, in our portfolio. And, like how we saw in IT, first reaction was negative and then most IT is recovered. So I think, as the first reaction always is negative in markets, and then you will see slow recovery happening.
I'm just trying to understand if you have that same view as far as IT is concerned. Because even when the H1B visa issue came up, the commentary was that a lot of Indian IT companies have already weaned off H1B. They don't have that much dependence anymore, etc., etc. Now, Accenture's results, which came in yesterday, though better than expected, don't seem to give confidence that the macro environment's looking up. How do you see it as an impact or a head start for Indian IT companies ahead of the results?
So see, Indian IT companies, there are two sets of Indian IT companies, and I think that is where people, I think the large IT companies and the mid-sized IT companies. Large IT companies are going through in a process of, building a lot of capabilities as far as the AI and, related fields are concerned. And as that happens, it might take some time, but also they will save some cost. But if you see order book or order wins of most IT companies has been very, very decent. So I don't think any, while there's, given their basis, you can't have very large sort of growth coming through any which way. So the right way to look at, in my opinion, IT company, mid-size IT companies will do well. And every time there's a technology transformation or transition happens, you find new set of companies doing very well. For example, in 2009 or post 2000 global financial crisis, in 2009 to next 10 years. I mean, companies like Persistent, HCL Technology, LTTI, LTTS, Mindtree, they were minnows and they became, 10 to 15x, 20x, 25x in their journey. So every time in this cycle also, newer, while some existing companies will remain around, but newer companies might, or smaller companies might benefit far more. And hence, those are the companies to look at. Having said that, IT services at a global level, it's only going to grow. It's not going down because of AI related technologies.
Any of these minnows that you've identified, Vikas?
Would love to not comment on stocks, please.
Okay, no, just in the sense of whether there's enough potential there in the Indian space. The sense seems to be that India has missed out on the AI race completely, and which is the reason that our markets have stayed out of the global party as well. Have you seen any such companies that are there on the radar, or they're not available at all?
See, all these people who were saying, forget that, US ecosystem is very old. In India, we've started building reasonably good startup ecosystem meaningfully in last 10 years only. And I have zero doubt in my mind that India will have in next 10 years many, many good companies in the AI space, in the technology space, which will be world leading. I have zero doubt on that. It could be 10 years, 15 years, but a lot of companies are being incubated. Think about it. Who thought Zoho could be a company based out of India and can, cater to the global demand? Now, nobody gave a chance, but they were being created when nobody was paying attention to them. And everybody was only barking on Indian IT services space that is not doing well. So I think, again, one can look at, see, Indian IT services has served Indian economy very well. We have got $200 billion plus of forex reserve thanks to them and a lot of employment. So every economy, every market, every nation has its own journey and to think. So I don't think I will look at with our past with a lot of pessimism, but I look at with our future with a lot of optimism, saying that the things are changing. There are lots of companies being incubated in startup space in early stage, which will take lead into AI and related fields.
Why do you think the market has not reacted very positively or enthusiastically to the GST cuts?
No, look, again, see, a couple of things. A, I think markets have been consolidating in a range for last 6, 7, 8 months. And I would say that's an opportunity because largely getting clouded by the ongoing, this global and everyday uncertainty and news flow. And according to me, if you see not only GST cut, we have had interest rate cut, we have liquidity infusion, we have had income tax cut, we have had GST cut. So all those things are benefiting Indian economy, despite everybody calling out that earnings will slow down. Earnings have been holding on very well, despite everybody's sort of calling out markets will deep correct. Markets have not corrected. So in my opinion, when everybody on, I'm sure on your channel also every day you hear people saying markets will fall, valuations are expensive, and despite that markets are not falling. So in given this, it is these cuts, it is these boosters which are helping market even hold the ground. And as I think this environment settles down, I do believe I am reasonably convinced that markets will take a lead in next 6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months. Well, at least calendar year 25 seems to be a washout. Hopefully, we end the
You
calendar year better.
you never know.
Yeah?
Never try to, you never know. We might have a great Diwali. I mean, markets tend to surprise always, right?
True.
Who thought that market will bottom out in April and rally from there? But it did, right?
Yeah, maybe we'll have a great Diwali. Let's hope for that as we're in the middle of this festive season that things do perk up. Thank you so much, Vikas.